you're going to learn a lot to put into your parent toolkit so that you can better help your family dynamics. Welcome to Epic Mom Life. I am your host, Kara Peterson. This show is sponsored by The Possum's Tale, a unique book adventure for your 6 to 12-year-old child. Let's jump into today's show. The fascinating connection between birth order and personality. I'm going to go through every single child and every single order of where they are and how to nurture them and common characteristics. And I think you're going to learn a lot to put into your parent toolkit so that you can better help your family dynamics and help those kiddos to just blossom in their own unique ways, because you're going to better understand why the heck they do what they do. Let's get started. Firstborn children. I'll totally fess up. This is me. Natural leaders. That's their title. Firstborn children tend to be conscientious, responsible, and achievement-oriented. Being the oldest, they often receive a lot of attention and expectations from their parents. This can lead to a strong desire to excel and a tendency to be perfectionists. Firstborns may exhibit traits of leadership, organization, and dependability. Because of their need to succeed, they often are afraid to take risks. Middle children, the peacekeepers. These kiddos are incredibly talented and often overlooked. They are not the achievement-oriented first child or the carefree lastborn. Middle children can blend into most situations. They have a crucial role in the family structure. They often keep the peace. They want harmony. They will do all they can to keep your home emotionally zen. They are masterful mediators. The middle child is often the sensitive, empathetic child who negotiates between the older and younger siblings. This child values harmony and compromise. Youngest children, free spirits. Remember, this is the child who watched her older siblings ride bikes, climb play sets, and play games from the moment she was born. She always wanted to be included. This desire to be part of the group can lead to jealousy and insecurity. It also leads to a little one who learns life stuff so much faster than the older kids. She sees her older siblings accomplish great feats like riding a bike with no negative repercussions, so she fearlessly gives it a try. She seems smarter at putting things together. This is because she wants to be included in the games her older siblings play. She watches and learns. She is creative, carefree, adventurous, and seemingly fearless. Only children, the independent achievers. Only children, having grown up without siblings, often display characteristics of both firstborns and youngest children. They tend to be high achievers, enjoying the spotlight and seeking approval from adults. Due to the lack of siblings, they might feel more comfortable with adult company and tend to be mature beyond their years. However, they could also display some characteristics of the youngest child, as they might enjoy being the center of attention and living in a world of creativity at times. It's important to note that birth order's influence on personality is not a strict rule, but rather a pattern that can be observed in many cases. A multitude of factors, such as parenting styles, family dynamics, and individual temperament, contribute to the development of one's personality. Recognize the outliers. That was a really great book if you haven't read it. There are always children who don't quite fit in the proverbial mold. One of the situations I am interested in is when you have, for example, a firstborn son, then a daughter 3 years later, so this would be a typical firstborn and youngest child scenario, supposedly. However, what if that same couple had another daughter 12 years later? Are the patterns set with the firstborn daughter Does she continue to exhibit last-born tendencies, or does she evolve into the middle-born role? What about that little girl born 12 years later? She is so far behind her siblings. Does she develop more as an only child or a last-born? I've also witnessed anomalies among homeschool families that primarily are taught at home, not in co-ops. It seems that when children are primarily interacting with one another and a parent is available for long periods of time, daily, the lines between traditional birth order roles and characteristics tend to blur. While each child is unique, tailoring your parenting approach to the child's birth order tendencies can foster a more harmonious and supportive family environment. If your child doesn't quite fit into the birth order they are born into, match their characteristics to the one they most closely resemble. For me, this is just another thing to put into my toolkit, and I find it fascinating. What we really want to do as parents is just meet our kids where they are at and give them what they need. Nurturing the firstborn child. Encourage independence. Firstborn children often have a natural desire to take charge and be independent. You can encourage this by giving them age-appropriate responsibilities. I have a link in the notes for this, and allowing them to make decisions. Foster creativity. Sometimes these firstborn kiddos are more reserved when it comes to expressing themselves creatively. Encourage them to explore different art forms or hobbies to help them develop their creative side. My firstborn son was incredibly creative. He had worlds going on inside his head. In this case, just join them. Have fun with the play they have already created. Teach resilience. There's a link for this in the show notes as well. Since firstborns are perfectionists, help them understand that mistakes are part of learning and growth. Teach them resilience and the importance of learning from their failures. Also explain, multiple times, that we all have setbacks. This is how we become the amazing people that we are. Appreciation. This child is trying so hard to excel. Ensure that you provide one-on-one time to connect and show appreciation for their efforts. A little bit of acknowledgement goes a long way with this kiddo, but they need that acknowledgement. Nurturing the middle child. Value perspective. Middle children are skilled mediators. Show appreciation for their diplomatic abilities and involve them in family discussions and decision making. Celebrate uniqueness. Help this child recognize her unique strengths and talents. Avoid, like the plague, comparing them to their siblings, and instead focus on their individual achievements. Promote teamwork. These kiddos are often very, very skilled with working with others because of their ability to negotiate and compromise. Encourage group activities and sports to help them shine in the skills that they are so good at and hone them even further. Build self-esteem. There's a link in the show notes for this as well. Middle children often struggle with feelings of insecurity or low self-esteem. Many feel with these amazing siblings that they have, they are just not seen. Help them build confidence by doing self-esteem activities. I also have in the show notes 25 self-esteem discussion points for you to do that help conversation flow to get them to, so that you can value each other's perspective and celebrate uniqueness. Nurturing the last-born child. Encourage confidence. Youngest children may have a strong need for attention. Nurture their self-confidence by acknowledging their achievements and providing opportunities for them to shine. Support responsibility. Because youngest children may be more carefree, they need help learning responsibility. Introduce ways to help them develop a sense of accountability and independence. Again, there's the link to the age-appropriate chores. Channel creativity. Foster their creative side by providing outlets for artistic expression and imagination. Encourage their adventurous spirits through diverse experiences. Provide opportunities for leadership. Last-born children may have a natural inclination towards leadership and may benefit from opportunities to lead small groups or projects. Help them find these opportunities to learn to lead. Remember that in the home, they don't really get that opportunity because your oldest is always going to take that. So help your child find those opportunities. Now, my last-born had no inclination to lead. He let his older brother speak for him, decide for him, and he seemed fairly content to blend in with his peers. I would say providing opportunities for leadership is just as important for this group. In a much smaller way, help this type of kiddo find his voice. I enrolled mine in a Toastmasters for kids, basically, and that was really helpful. Encourage socialization. Last-born children may be more introverted and may need encouragement to interact outside of the family. If you are also an introvert, you are going to need to make a concerted effort to arrange times when you can get together with other moms and with their children, with kids of the same ages, plan barbecues, go to city events where you know other children will abound, etc. I know this is hard. Nurturing the only child. Sharing and compromise. It sounds so cliche. However, only children often struggle with these simply because they do not have to share or compromise with anyone on a daily basis. And these are very important life skills. Encourage your child to practice these skills through playdates and group activities. Remember, these are not naturally learned skills. Help them learn before there is conflict. Your child wants friends. Talk about how to be a great friend before they interact with others, and remind them all of their precious possessions will be theirs again, just theirs, at the end of the day. Cultivate the loud and messy. Children can be loud and messy. Only children are often more comfortable with adults, and that is who they are around most often. Adults are not loud and messy. Encourage interactions with peers to develop into that chaotic fun. It is this kind of normal kid fun that will help your child build solid friendships. Embrace their maturity. Recognize their early maturity and engage in conversations that challenge their intellect and emotional depth while allow them to still enjoy their childhood. What I mean by this is it is so easy to talk to your mature child, and that is fabulous. They enjoy it. However, they still have the brain of a however many years old your child is. Remember to not overwhelm them with problems that they really cannot solve in the world or in the family, or issues that will delve them into a deep depression. There's a link on Our Kids Are Really Sad in the notes. Instead, value your discussions, but also allow them to be kids and enjoy this time. Balance independence and dependence. Very few of us want to ask for help. We all feel useful, however, whenever we are asked, and kid can give help. So we don't want to ask for help, but we like to help others because we feel like we've done a good thing. You know, it's kind of like makes us feel like a little superhero. This must be a cultural thing. I don't ever remember learning this, but I do know it's ingrained in me. Help our only child find a healthy balance between their independent nature and the ability to seek help or guidance when needed. Unraveling the magic of birth order can be a delightful way to add another tool into every parent's toolkit. Once you understand it, you have a valuable asset in shaping your child's personality and behavior. Learn to celebrate their unique strengths, encourage their growth, and guide them towards shining brightly in their own special way. The movie quote, "That's no blizzard, that's my sister, Anna in Frozen." If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to send you a huge thank you. Please leave me a comment or review and share with other moms you know. Get in touch in the comments or on Kara's social media networks. See you next week for a new episode.